This is what happens to your brain when you are emotionally abused. Imagine waking up every day feeling like you're walking on eggshells, unsure of how the day will unfold. Perhaps you replay hurtful words in your mind, trying to understand how someone you care about could make you feel so small. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Emotional abuse is a silent predator, often creeping into our lives disguised as love or concern. But what many people don't realize is how deeply it affects the brain, changing how you think, feel, and perceive the world. You see, emotional abuse isn't just about hurt feelings or harsh words. It's a systematic attack on your self-worth, designed to control and manipulate you. With that in mind, let's dive into what actually happens to your brain when you're subjected to this kind of cruelty. 1. Changes in brain structure. The physical impact of emotional abuse. When we discuss emotional abuse, the focus is usually on the psychological toll. However, it can change the physical structure of the brain as well. Chronic emotional abuse floods your brain with stress hormones like cortisol. Elevated levels of cortisol can shrink the hippocampus, which is essential for memory and learning. This makes it difficult to concentrate, learn new things, or even remember details from daily life. But that's not all. The prefrontal cortex, which helps with decision-making and impulse control, is also impacted. If you've ever felt trapped in a cycle of making poor choices or found it hard to break free from harmful patterns, this may be why. Emotional abuse rewires your brain to keep you stuck in a state of pain and confusion, making it hard to plan for the future or think clearly. 2. The overactive amygdala. Living in a state of constant fear. Do you find yourself always on edge, even in situations that aren't dangerous? That's your amygdala working overtime. The amygdala is the fear center of your brain, responsible for your fight or flight response. When you're emotionally abused, your amygdala can become hyperactive, leaving you in a state of constant fear and anxiety. This heightened alertness is like background noise that never stops, making it nearly impossible to relax or feel safe. You might overreact to small stressors or always expect the worst, even when there's no immediate threat. This is more than a mental state. It's a physical change in your brain, keeping you emotionally exhausted and on edge. 3. The emotional toll. Depression, anxiety, and emotional regulation. Emotional abuse can do more than hurt your feelings. It can wreak havoc on your brain's chemistry. Neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood, can become imbalanced. This leads to anxiety, depression, and a lack of motivation. Small tasks become overwhelming, and feeling happiness becomes a challenge. The prefrontal cortex, which regulates your emotions, may not function as it should, leading to intense mood swings. One moment, you feel fine, and the next, devastated. This instability can make it hard to manage stress, leaving you feeling like your emotions are completely out of control. 4. Cognitive dissonance. When your mind can't reconcile the pain. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological term for the mental conflict that arises when you hold two contradictory beliefs at once. In an abusive relationship, this happens when you try to reconcile the love or attachment you feel for your abuser with the pain they're causing. Your brain hates this kind of conflict, so it tries to resolve it by rationalizing the abuse or minimizing its impact. Unfortunately, this keeps you trapped in the relationship. Instead of recognizing the abuse for what it is, your brain tries to make sense of the conflicting emotions, which only deepens the confusion and pain. 5. Trauma bonding. When abuse feels like love. Trauma bonding is one of the most harmful effects of emotional abuse. It occurs when a victim forms a deep attachment to their abuser, often due to a cycle of abuse followed by moments of affection or kindness. These positive moments create a powerful emotional bond, making it difficult to leave the relationship. Your brain plays a big role in trauma bonding. During the honeymoon phase of the abuse cycle, when the abuser is kind, your brain releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine. This creates a sense of relief and happiness that becomes addictive. Even though the abuse is damaging, your brain starts associating these brief moments of kindness with safety and love, keeping you emotionally tethered to your abuser. 6. Low self-esteem and altered perception of reality. Perhaps the most devastating aspect of emotional abuse is how it distorts your perception of yourself and the world around you. Over time, you may internalize the negative messages from your abuser, leading to low self-esteem and a diminished sense of self-worth. You might begin to believe that you deserve the abuse, or that you're unworthy of love and respect. Gaslighting, a common tactic in emotional abuse, further warps your perception of reality. This is when the abuser manipulates you into doubting your own memories and perceptions. You may start questioning what's real, leaving you confused and disoriented. This loss of trust in your own judgment makes it even harder to leave the relationship. The brain can heal. Hope for recovery. The truth is, emotional abuse is a powerful force that can drastically change your brain. But the good news is that these changes don't have to be permanent. The human brain is incredibly resilient, and with the right support, it can heal. Recognizing the effects of emotional abuse is the first step toward recovery. You don't have to face this journey alone. Therapy, support groups, or even opening up to someone you trust can make a world of difference. Healing takes time, but it's entirely possible. By understanding how emotional abuse affects your brain, you can start taking back control of your life and rebuild your self-worth. Emotional abuse doesn't just affect your mental state, it changes how your brain functions. These changes, however, can be reversed with time, support, and understanding. If you or someone you know is going through emotional abuse, it's important to seek help. By doing so, you can break free from the cycle of abuse and regain control of your mind and life. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any new videos. Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comment section down below, and feel free to stay and enjoy it until the end. Also make sure to check out our next highlighted video, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.